They were promised freedom, then sent back to chains. They were promised freedom, not quietly, not in whispers, but in front of witnesses. January 1815, the Battle of New Orleans. The British Empire, the most powerful military force in the world, was advancing. Washington had already burned months earlier. America was fragile, desperate. General Andrew Jackson needed men, and in Louisiana, there were hundreds of enslaved black men who knew how to fight. Some had military experience. Some had worked the land their entire lives. All of them understood something clearly. This was not their war. But when recruiters came, they were offered something powerful: freedom. Some historical accounts describe promises made that if victory came, liberty would follow. Freedom for those who fought, a new life, no more chains. Imagine that moment. A man born into bondage, told that if he stood on a battlefield, if he survived musket fire, cannon blasts, and British assault, he might finally own his own name. They said yes, because what would you do? The enslaved battalions were organized. They stood beside white militia, Creole fighters, pirates, frontiersmen. They dug trenches, they loaded cannons, they held the line. On January 8, 1815, the British attacked. It was brutal. Gunfire thundered, smoke swallowed the sky, men fell into mud and blood, and the enslaved soldiers fought. They did not run, they did not surrender. They helped secure one of the most decisive victories in early American history. The British were crushed, the invasion stopped, the battle became legend. Andrew Jackson became a national hero. But here is where history grows quiet. When the smoke cleared, when the cheers faded, when victory was declared, most of those black men were sent back to chains. No land grants, no official emancipation, no statues carved in their honor, just a return to the plantations they had left. Freedom promised, freedom denied, heroes erased. Some records speak of deep anger among the soldiers. One account from a man named James Roberts describes confrontation. He wrote that betrayal burned deeper than battle. Think about that. Not the British bullets, not the cold January wind. Betrayal. They had defended a country that refused to defend them. History books celebrate Jackson as the hero of New Orleans. They describe strategy, leadership, brilliance. But how often do they mention the enslaved men who stood in that trench line? How many names were left out? For over 2 centuries, this part of the story has lived in the margins. Why? Because it complicates the narrative. It forces uncomfortable questions. If enslaved men fought bravely for America, how could America justify keeping them enslaved? If they were good enough to defend the nation, why were they not good enough to be free within it? The story doesn't end there. Throughout American history, black men and women have stepped forward in moments of crisis. Revolutionary War, Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam. They fought for freedoms they did not fully enjoy. They built roads they could not walk freely. They defended a constitution that did not always defend them. This is not about tearing down history. It is about widening it, because the foundation of America is not just built on presidents and generals. It is built on unnamed hands, unrecorded courage, unacknowledged sacrifice. When we say Battle of New Orleans, most people picture Andrew Jackson on horseback. But imagine another image, a black soldier gripping a musket, knowing that even if he survives, he may return to a master, and fighting anyway. That is complexity. That is tragedy. That is history. For over 2 centuries, classrooms simplified this moment. Hero, victory, end of story. But history is rarely that simple. The enslaved soldiers were not footnotes. They were participants, contributors, human beings with names, families, dreams.
And some historians today are working to recover those names, to tell the fuller story. Because a nation's strength is not in pretending its past was clean. It is about confronting its contradictions. Freedom promised, freedom denied, heroes erased. Why do you think some stories are amplified while others fade into silence? Why do some figures get statues while others get forgotten? If this made you see the Battle of New Orleans differently, the full breakdown is waiting on our page, because the short version is only the beginning. History is layered, and some of its deepest truths were buried on purpose. Like, share, and subscribe, and share this with someone who believes history only has one side, because sometimes the men who fought hardest are the ones history tried hardest to forget.